everybody, welcome back to Jessica's Reading Room. My name is Kim and we are here for another monthly wrap-up video. We are here for the month of June and I'm just looking at this right here and I really don't like how I don't look centered. Does that look right or not? Here, let's just move it just a little bit. So hang in there, guys. There we go. Okay, all right, there. Is that better? Okay, that looks better. Okay. Whew, sorry. My ADD kind of sort of showed up and I was like, whew, okay. See, this is what happens with quarantine with Kim. She starts acting weird. So quarantine needs to end. Coronavirus needs to just go away because I need to get back to regular life because I'm literally going to drive myself and everyone around me crazy. That's just how it is. So we just need to get back to normal, please. Thank you. Okay. All right, so for the month of June, we've had a pretty crazy month. We've had series 1 of the Most Gorgeous Cover Tournament for 2020. And I will admit that my pick actually won this year. I mean, I realize that we have the next series, which I get that's who I've already picked a stack for series 2. And I don't know if Elysium Girls, because Elysium Girls won series 1. I don't know because there are some books for series 2. They're really good. So I don't know. Right now, Elysium Girls is my favorite and it won series 1. But you know what? At this point, I don't even know, okay? I don't even know. It's 2020. How can anyone predict anything at this point? Right? Right. Okay. So, I will admit my stack for this month is actually really not good. I will admit this was not my best reading month, considering that we finally started going out to the beach. Ivan started fishing out on the pier so we could actually go and sit on the pier and I could sit and I could read. I'm not sure what it is. My concentration was all wonky this month. I will admit, I was playing a lot of PlayStation. I will admit. That might have had something to do with it. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure. Plus, and I started watching TV shows. I watched this one on Netflix. It's in Italian, and I binge watched it in a night when I was supposed to be reading. And now I'm watching one that's in German. So it's still reading because I'm reading the subtitles, but it's just not a book. See, it works out. It all works out. It just doesn't look like it works out. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I know. Okay. Anyway, so I will admit that my reading for this month was not very good, so you can't judge me. Got it? Okay. So first I'm going to start out, which there's also another thing that's kind of new for me this month. I don't have 2 of the books here with me because I lent them out to other people. Which that is a really big step for Kim, okay? If you know me, you know that I hate lending out books. I hate it. It gives me anxiety. I'm always afraid because I know that I'm never going to get those books back because I've borrowed books from people. And I mean, they've sat on my shelves for years. And then I finally, 5 years later, I'm like, oh, hey, here's your book. And yeah, so I'm kind of clenchy about it because I'm like, I need my books back. But I'm also like, calm down, okay? They're readers too. Calm down. They're going to be okay. The books are going to be fine, okay? So we're making it. We're making it. It's just, I don't have the books here. And I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to put the graphic right here because I'm not a fancy schmancy video book nerd. Becky, what? I don't know. And so I have no idea how to do that. So if it appears right here, then that means I figured it out. But if it doesn't, there you go. I'm very sorry for doing more reading than I do computer research. You know what I'm talking about? Okay. All right. So I'm going to start with those so that I don't actually end up forgetting I even had to write them down to make sure that I have the names right. They're actually both my neighborhood book club pick too. So yeah, that might have something to do with it because I've got friends in my book club who are, you know, asked if they could borrow the book because we all live in the same neighborhood. So there's only like one copy at the library, so that probably explains it. Okay, so Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. It's literally just NG, so I think it's Ng. Yeah, that one, I haven't written a review on it yet. And that's what's really sad, is that a lot of these books I haven't written a review on yet. So y'all are getting like my first thoughts about a lot of these. So yeah. Yeah, basically that book is everything you shouldn't do as a parent. It's kind of the best way to describe that book. If you want to know how to be a good parent, read that book and then do the opposite. And then that's pretty much, you'll be a successful parent. That's how it was. I enjoyed reading it. It was a good book. It's just, the parents were really horrible. And they didn't mean to be horrible. They were actually trying to be good parents, but then they failed really bad at being good parents. So yeah, there you go. All right, and then for this month, I read Even If It Kills Her by Kate White. It's in the Bailey Weggins series, which I'm not gonna lie, when whoever it was in my book club who chose it, because we literally just threw the titles into a bowl and I picked them out, and that's the schedule for the rest of the year through next May. You know, at first I was like, oh great, because it's Bailey Weggins mystery series number 7, and I was like, oh, I'm not reading 6 books just to get to the neighborhood book club. Not gonna happen. But I decided to go ahead and get it. I started reading it. It's one of those standalone type things. I didn't feel like I was lost at all. I was getting it, and this was like the one time that my hunch was right. Okay, because it happened with Wonder Woman. It was hilarious because Ivan was showing me Wonder Woman for the first time. Soon as the guy walked in, I said, something's wrong with him. He's the bad guy. He's the villain. And Ivan just looked at me and he was like, how do you know that? And I said, he gives off a bad vibe. And besides, who shows up like that offering to give them everything they need with no reason? I mean, isn't it obvious? Duh. So when I was reading this book, when the villain walked in, I like got this super bad vibe in the pit of my stomach, and I was like, that's him. That's him. And then as I kept reading, I forgot that I said it was him. But then as soon as it was revealed that it was him, I was like, oh my gosh, I was right. What? So that puts me, I mean, I guess that puts me on par with Jessica, because Jessica does that too. So I feel a little better about myself. Anyway, so those are 2 books that I do not have with me, and that if I can figure out how to put the picture of the books up, then great, I will. If not, I'm very, very sorry. Okay, so then I read The Shining by Stephen King. I've been on a Stephen King kick lately. Now that I've actually read Stephen King and I realize that I like his writing, I'm like, okay, let's just work our way through stuff. And I have, and my friend Adam, you guys know Adam, he's our consultant on a lot of stuff. He's been in videos with us. You know Adam. He's actually told me, he's like, you know, well, have you read the classics yet? And I'm like, well, I don't know. Which ones are the classics? The Shining, Carrie, Dr. Sleep, Misery, Cujo, Pet Sematary, The Stand, which I have not read yet. I'm working on it, but I haven't read it yet. And so he's like, well, yeah, those. And so I said, okay, all right. So I started doing it. Ivan and I love The Shining movie. I mean, it's a brilliant movie. And then I read the book, and it's really fascinating that Stephen King and Stanley Kubrick were on completely different pages with this. And I get why Stephen King didn't like the movie, but they also kind of need to be taken separately. There's no point in really... Okay, we're going to talk about that in the book to film comparison video. Okay, so I'm not going to get into that. Anyway, so I read The Shining by Stephen King. I really liked it. It was really good. Definitely something to read. Boom. Okay, then this was also a contender in the Most Gorgeous Cover tournament. Engines of the Broken World by Jason Van Hees. Cover is amazing. I think I got this out of one of my book outlet hauls, like... years ago, maybe. I saw it, I read the description, and I was like, dude, it looks creepy. How about let's read it? I didn't get it. Again, I'm gonna write a review on it. It's just, I didn't get it. I mean, by the time I got to the end, I was like, what? And when and you guys know that when I finish books where I'm sitting there going, what? I'm not a huge fan. So as much as I love the cover and I love the concept, yeah, okay. All right. So then The Cabin by Natasha Preston, which we did a cover reveal on Jessica's Reading Room website for her newest book, which I am so excited about. I've almost caught up. All I have left to do is read The Twin, which I am going to do. And then all I'll have left is her new book that hasn't been published yet. So I'm getting there. We're getting there. The Cabin actually was really good. It's not my favorite of her entire series. I will admit that the ending of this one kind of sort of ruined it for me, because you guys know that I'm all for teenagers as long as they're not idiots. And the thing is that these teenagers weren't idiots until you got to the very end, where all of a sudden they decided to be idiots. And I was like, guys, no. And so the ending kind of ruined it for me, but I still really liked it. This cover is really gorgeous. So I was like, you know what? I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, the entire book, again, as long as you ignored the last page, it was really good, and I really liked it. So typical Natasha Preston. Bravo. I can't wait to keep reading her. She's brilliant. Okay, then we have another Stephen King, Misery. And the funny thing is, and here's the funny thing, all right, because my parents are not really the super dark kind of people. Like, my dad is, he just hides it really well, whereas my mom isn't. Like, you put her in front of a Harrison Ford action flick and she'll sit there for hours. But if you put her into like horror type stuff, she's not really into it. She's hilarious. I keep telling her, I'm like, Mom, you're too literal. You can't get stuff because you're too literal about things. That's just the way she is. This is probably a good point to tell you the story. I don't know if I told you this story or not, but just as an example, we were watching Polar Express. And we got to the end part where the kid picks up the bell and he rings it because now he believes in Santa Claus, and so he can hear it now. And my mom, who had like fallen asleep somewhere but then woke up and decided to keep trying to figure out what was going on, all of a sudden she yells, she's like, I don't like that. Santa Claus can't heal deafness. And we're all just going, what? And so then we've been making fun of her for it ever since. Like, we watch the Polar Express every year now just to make fun of her for that. Like, we all just yell out about Santa Claus can't heal deafness when we get to that part. Anyway, so she's super literal like that. But yet, she was the one who introduced me to the movie Misery all the way back when I was in college. And so, like, just when you think, I mean, because she's the one who doesn't like my doll collection. She doesn't like the fact that I've, now started wearing horror t-shirts, and she gets all, which I'd like it noted, I'm wearing my Stranger Things shirt today, so, boom. So that's just kind of the way she is, but yet she was the one who actually showed me Misery in the first place, and I was like, okay, so I've watched the movie multiple times. I mean, that movie is freaking brilliant. Okay, if you haven't watched Misery with James Caan and Kathy Bates, you need to do it because it is brilliant. So then I said, you know what? How is it that I haven't read this book yet? I tried listening to it on audio and for some reason it just didn't work. So then I said, okay, let's go ahead and try reading this. And I read it and it was really good. And we do have a book to film comparison coming out. I just haven't done it yet. So we will. Stay tuned. But I really liked it. I thought it was great. This Stephen King, he's apparently a genius. And I'm totally good with that because he is a genius. And now I just keep reading him because he, okay. All right. So that was long. rambling explanation to get where we were supposed to go, and I guess that's that Stephen King is a genius. So thank you, Mr. King. All right, weird. Okay. All right, and then, ta-da, the winner of the 2020 Most Gorgeous Cover Tournament, Series 1, Elysium Girls by Kate Pentecost. As soon as I saw this cover, I was like, this is it. Of course, I thought that about Gunslinger Girl and With the Fire on High, and then you guys screwed it up. So thank you for not screwing up Series 1. I appreciate it, okay? I'd like you to keep that in your heads for Series 2. Well, for the championship past Series 2, because I love this cover. So yes, I will admit that I bought this book exclusively for the cover. I didn't even read the synopsis till I got home. And I have to say, the synopsis was actually, once I read the synopsis, I was like, Great Depression, Dust Bowl, random game between two goddesses, good versus evil, magic, creating this desert type scenario, like an arena that these people are competing in. And it was actually really good. The one thing that I wasn't a huge fan of was just there was like these random virtue signaling things. And I get that not all of it was super obvious, but when you say there's a black girl and a white girl and the B in black is capitalized, but the W in white isn't, I'm like, really? Is that really necessary? But thankfully they were few and far between. The overall story was really good. I enjoyed it. So I was like, you know what? Okay. And to me, the story totally supports the cover. Really weird sounds coming from this house. My gosh. Because Ivan's in there playing Death by Daylight. And thankfully he's not talking, because normally he talks to himself while he's playing that game, and I had to tell him to be quiet while I was filming. And now my house creaks. It does that. Especially does it when Ivan's at work. I don't know why. Anyway, so it just got really creepy in here for a second, but that's okay. We're back. Okay, so Elysium Girls by Kate Pentecost. There you go. I've read 7 books this month, which is so sad. I'm so far behind everybody. You'd think this quarantine would actually cause me to read more books. No, apparently not. Apparently I'm a failure as a book nerd and a book blogger, so I'm so sorry. Okay, so now we've got best and worst. Oh gosh, best and worst. Okay, worst is Engines of the Broken World, because I didn't get it. I literally, by the time I ended this book, I was like, what the hell? I don't understand it. So, okay, fine. I think best is gonna have to be Misery, because I really liked it. So, yeah. Even though I already knew the story, I really liked it. So, and what's really sad, because all the rest of these books are all really good. So the fact that I had to narrow it down to this was just the best. We just had some really good books this month. Few. So we went with quality over quantity. Yes, we did it, guys. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So there we go. That's what Kim read in the month of June. I would love, love, love to hear what you guys have been reading. So make sure you tell me down in the comments. If you have any book recommendations that you would like to give me, I would also love to hear about that down in the comments. Yes, I believe that's it. Like I said, we've got a bunch of reviews coming at you. We've got several book to film comparison videos coming at you. If you guys have any ideas of anything that you would like to see on this channel, make sure you tell us down in the comments. And there we go. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Everybody have a great day. Have a great month of July. Hopefully you get lots of sun and lots of reading in, and everybody stay safe and healthy. Bye.